What's happening, guys? Safety liner C2. What the heck? Oh, gosh. You see, I hate this little glitch right here, how it says it's in drive right there, but it says it's in neutral. I hate that. Alright, let's try this again. What's happening, guys? Safety liner C2 here. I hope you are having a stupendous day. Or maybe a stupendous week or month or, whatever. Yeah. I just hope you're having a really good day. I genuinely do. I've had a really long week. It's killer this week. And that is because I actually got a full-time job. So yeah, let's go on a little story about that. But before that, if this video does end suddenly, just I do, there's stuff that's going to happen here pretty soon. So, I'm not sure when, so it could be sometime in this video, and I might, just make another segment and put them together, or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, so I got a full-time job, like I said, and it's pretty great. So, a couple weeks ago, I was talking with one of the adults I know from Scouts, and we got on the subject of work, and he basically said, well, I think I might be able to get a job for you at my company. And I'm like, oh, well, that's great. So, thinking that, you're going to say that, but you're not actually going to. I didn't, that's all I thought of it. I saw him the next week, and he said, hey, I got you that job. Call me whenever, and I'll get you hooked up. So I called him, and he's like, yeah, so basically what this job is blah, 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 blah. Can you come into the office today, and we will, I'll show you around. You can meet the people, and we'll go from there. Yeah, sure, I'd love to. So I drive down to his office, and it's in one of the, not so great parts of Houston. It could certainly be a lot worse, but it's not one of the parts that I would, enjoy living in. But anyway, so I go down there and, knock on the, I open the door, and there's like a little lobby in there, and knock on the door, Guy comes out, start talking to him, and he shows me to the little place that I would be working in, like the little kind of suite of offices, I guess, if you will. He's like, yeah, so here's where you'll be working, and blah, blah, blah. This is your boss. If you, and he's talking to the boss, if you could just interview him, that would be great. Just make sure you like him, and if you like him, we'll go ahead and get him drug tested and get him on his way. So he's like, okay, yeah. So the manager pulls me into his office, which is, overviewing all the small little cubicles. He's like, yeah, so basically what the job is blah, 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 exactly what I heard from the other guy. And, he's just telling me, oh, we host servers, and, we do virtual machines, and, he's telling me all about the company, and he's like, okay, do you mind if you just tell me a couple things about yourself? And I'm like, yeah, so, I'm Cameron, I'm 18, I like technology, or, whatever. I just said a bunch of BS stuff, and he's like, okay, that's great. And that was the interview. Just like, that was the most informal interview there could possibly be. Like seriously, whenever the guy called me, or whenever I called him originally, I figured that I'd be sitting through like a 20-minute interview, but seriously, it was like the most informal thing that there could have been for an interview. Like, serious. Okay, that's it? I'm hired just for saying like 2 or 3 things about myself? That's it? So I'm like, okay, this is great, And these guys are so laid back, are so chill. They're just in there just screwing around, having a good time, Yeah, they're getting stuff done also, but, they're just making jokes and, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I could get along in this. And the manager tells me, he's like, the only requirement you have to have is a thick skin, because these guys will make fun of you. And I'm like, I don't care, whatever, that's fine. So he's like, yeah, so can you start on Monday? And yeah, sure, I'd love to start Monday. So I started Monday, and let's see, so I get in there on Monday, and he shows me to my little cubicle. So I have it's just a basic computer. It has an i5, like 8 gigs of RAM, just some basic stuff, dual screens, whatever. He's like, yeah, so this is going to be your little cubicle right here. So basically what we're doing today is you're going to fill out paperwork, and we already showed you the office and everything. So once you fill out the paperwork, you can just try and make yourself at home. Keep in mind, this is an 8 to 5 job, so I'm working 40 hours a week. And if you do want to know, I am making decent money. I'm not, we won't go into that, but yes, it is decent money. So, it takes me, I don't know, an hour and a half to fill out all the paperwork that I need to get done. He's like, yeah, so that's it. Tomorrow you're going to actually start working, and you're going to do meter readings, which was the blah, blah, blah that I was saying. Let me tell you what a meter read is. What the company does is this is not the first time this has happened right here. But, really? But there are a lot of different aspects to this company, a lot of different things that the company does. And one of the bigger things that the company does is they lease out printer, faxer. What? Did you guys not just see that? How the heck did that work? How the heck? What? Out of all my years playing ROR, I've never seen that before or anything like that. Okay then. But anyway, one of the bigger parts of the company is they lease out printer, faxer, copier all in one. So, like those really, really big copy machines that you see in like office buildings or maybe at school or something. We lease out those. And the meter read is basically you just go out there, you push a couple buttons on the thing, and then it just prints out a one-page report, just making sure, it's made this many copies, it's done this and this and this. So it's just, just an annual report. So my job is to go out to all these different companies that we lease them out to, and just run the report. The report literally takes 30 seconds to run. I push maybe a total of 3 buttons, and it prints it out. Okay? So he's like, yeah, so I'm gonna have one of the other guys meet you out there tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. Okay, well, that's great. I'll see you tomorrow. So, one of the companies we lease them out to is a huge hospital system in the Houston area. There's like 13. I think there's like 13 different hospitals that this company owns in the Houston area, and they're these are all like they have. It's like let me show you. Where is it? Okay. It's seriously like from the hospital to these buildings over here, like just in real life. There's like 5 or 6, buildings each. Some of them are like, I think the highest story I've gone to is like the 29th story, or these buildings, they're like huge, and I got to go in and I got to find all these printers. So I get out there on Tuesday. I drive out to one of the locations where I was gonna start. Meet the guy out there, and hey, what's up? Let's go ahead and get started. So he gave me a list of of the printers that I need to find at this specific location. So it gives me an ID number, a serial number, the address, and let's see, a location of where it might be. So like, 6th floor next to, this or that. Let's see, I just got a notification. That's okay. And a contact if possible. Okay, that's fine. So he starts showing me around, it says, 1st floor next to kitchen. So we'll go find the kitchen and oh, there it is. So let's go run our report on it. So we'll push a couple buttons and print out the report and go find the next one. 7th floor, over there next to whatever. Go over there, find that one, press a couple buttons, run the report, and we're all good. And then you just keep on going down the list, down the list, down the list, until you find every single one on there. So there was one. Keep in mind, we're in a hospital. There was one where it's like, okay, it's on the 9th floor, in office number 73287, whatever. So we can't find that office. And go up to the front desk on whatever floor. Hey, we're looking for this office right here. Can you point us in the right direction? We're with this company, and we just need to, run an annual report. Oh, yeah, if you just go through the double doors, take a left, and it's the first door on the right, whatever. Okay, thank you. So we follow the directions there. And it leads us to this big open room, and I'm not really paying attention. I'm just kind of looking at the report, just, looking for the ID number. Oh, there's the printer over there. Let's go run our quick report on it. I go over there, I'm pushing the buttons, just making sure it's going all good. And I look up, and like I said, it's this big open room. There's like 3 or 4 doctors in there, and they're just doing surgery in there. Just like, just casually doing surgery. I'm just like, what? Of course the surgery was actually going on in rooms right next to it, but they just had big glass windows just so you could see them just doing surgery. And I am not the type of person who likes seeing stuff like that, like blood or, open wounds or anything like that. I am not that person. And to see them doing surgery, I'm like, oh, no, thank you very much. I think I'll pass. That's about it. We get out of that room real quick. So the guy who was training me, he spends like 2 hours with me, and he's like, yes, I'm going to go back to the office, good luck finding the rest of these, whatever. So I get about half done, half of them done in the first day, which, that's not bad. I got about 40 or 50 done. Second day, I go in there, and I found all the easy ones. Now it's time to find all the hard ones with very, very, very vague locations. Like, there's one I remember. It's like, ISD. And that's all it said. It didn't give me a floor number. It didn't give me anything. It just said ISD. The heck is ISD? I don't know. So, I start going around it. I find most of the hard ones. But here's the thing. Some of these printers that I find, they aren't on my list, but I still have to run them anyway, but they're in the room, where some other printer should be. So it's like, I'm not sure if they leased it out or if they like returned it for a different one or, what. So it's like kind of confusing, and this has been going on with all the other ones. So I'm finding more that aren't on my list than the ones that are on my list, which is, I don't know if that's good or not. Whatever. So, I'm doing all that, and I go back to the office, and I sit down, and the manager told me, he's like, yeah, you don't have to come back to the office, we'll put you on the clock 8 to 5, just let us know whenever you get there and whenever you leave. We'll pay for gas, mileage, all that stuff. Okay, well, that's perfect. So I had to come back to the office because I had a bunch of papers that I needed to all these reports. I need to turn them in. So I get back around there at like 4, I guess. I don't know, somewhere right around 4 or so. And let's see, make sure. There we go. So I get there around 4, and I hand in all the paperwork, and it took me like 15 minutes just to talk to the person who I handed it in and whatnot. So I still had like 30 minutes. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll check the emails and this and that, whatever. So I'm sitting there, and the manager, I hear someone walking behind me, and the manager comes up in my little cubicle, puts something down on my desk, or puts a couple things down on my desk, and looks at me, and I turn around, and sitting there is an iPhone 4. And I'm like, what the word is this? And he's just like, oh, we give this phone to people that we hate. This is your company phone. And just walks off. And like I said, this is a very, very laid back company, so he didn't care. Here's the thing. I'm sure you guys know, I'm not a big iPhone person. I whatever. I don't like Apple products. I just don't think that, they're that great. Having this iPhone really confirms that to me. Like I said, it's an iPhone 4. It's an 8 gig. It's all cracked up and everything. I'm like, this is a joke. It doesn't have Siri on there. It's not running iOS. It's running like iOS 7.1.2, which is, a couple years old. I'm like, okay, I don't care if you give me an iPhone, but at least give me a half decent one, not one that's, 6 years old. It's like, really? This is, oh my gosh. So, he gives me that. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I better start setting it up to my liking, So, I start going through it, and it's like, oh, you have 7 text messages. And I'm like, I've had this phone for like 2 minutes. How could I already have 7 text messages unless, the other people have my number? And I'm looking at it, and I don't think they did a factory reset or a number change on the phone at all. Because the texts I'm getting are from, they're all in Spanish, and I'm in a group text, and they're talking about a youth group. So I guess the guy who had the phone before me was a youth group leader, because I've been getting phone calls and text. I'm using the Google Translate, the photo capture for Google Translate. So you like hold the camera up to the language, and then it'll translate through Google Translate. And it's just like, yeah, when is this, or whatever. I'm getting calls. It's like, oh yes, I'm looking for whoever, and I'm just like, yeah, wrong number. They didn't even do a number change on it. That's just like, we're a technology company. Isn't that like one of the easiest things to do? That's so easy to do. So I've been carrying around this iPhone 4 with me. I mean, this is old. I mean, this still has the 30 pin connector, and like I said, no Siri or anything. I would have been okay with a 4S. I mean, I still don't want an iPhone, but still, I would have been at least a little bit happier with a 4S. So I could at least have Siri, or a newer iOS, or whatever. But oh my gosh, it's this piece of junk that's just sitting in my pocket right now. Ugh. So let's see. Thursday, I'm like, okay, well, I found all the printers at this location. Let's go ahead and let's go to a different location. Keep in mind, I have like 600 printers that I have to find at, various different locations. So, Thursday it comes around, okay, well, we're going to start finding these. And so in the hospital, there's little banks in there, and they apparently they leased them out to some of the banks also. So I go in there, hey, I'm with this company and I need to just run a quick test on the printer. And they did not like the fact that I was there. Because, me just saying, hey, I'm just here to run a quick test on the printer, I understand that it's a bank. And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, you need to schedule an appointment and blah, blah, blah. Man, this is just an annual test. It's literally going to take 30 seconds. Just let me back there. I mean, yes, I understand that you might think I'm going to take money or whatever. But, don't you think that the company should have at least, told these other companies, hey, we're going to be sending someone out there to run some quick tests, just a heads up, whatever. Don't you think they should have done that? But they didn't. So, I'm just sitting there just like, here's my little badge and, here's all the other reports I ran. I'm just doing my job, man. Eventually, I get back there and so whatever, and, Thursday. So Thursday was the first day of this other location. Lunch rolls around, and I'm going to get some lunch. And I had planned to go eat at this place, this sub shop in downtown, because I was in the midst of downtown Houston. Okay, well, there's a sub place. And I pulled up on Google Maps, and I just planned on walking there, and it said it's a 45-minute walk. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not getting the truck out because I have to pay for parking and, everything. So I'm like, okay, well, I will actually eat McDonald's. Like, that's actually what I said because, I don't know. For some reason, I just wanted a Big Mac. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll go get a McDonald's. Or I'll go get McDonald's. So I pull that up on Google Maps, and it's like, 10-minute walk. Okay, whatever. So I start walking over, and it leads me to the location, and there's no McDonald's there. I'm like, what the heck, really? Whatever. Well, there happens to be another McDonald's, 15 minutes from this location. That's fine, I'll go walk. So I start walking around, passing all these other restaurants, and, I'm just like, maybe I should stop there, whatever. I'm really wanting this Big Mac right now. So it leads me to this location, and what do you know? There's no McDonald's there either. Fine, I'll go back and I'll go to one of the little restaurants on the side. So the choices I had was Chipotle, which I had on Wednesday. So I'm like, yeah, I don't really want that. Starbucks, which no, I'm just I'm not a basic. Salado, which is like a salad place, which it's not bad, but it's expensive. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want to spend a whole lot of money on lunch. Or Subway, which I just wasn't in the mood for Subway. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna get Chipotle. So now, if you live in Houston, today is June 18th. I don't know when this video is going up, but recently we've been getting heat advisories. It's triple digits here, man. It's so hot outside, and I'm walking downtown Houston. It's just burning up. So I get inside the Chipotle, and it's all nice and air conditioned. There's a big line. Okay, whatever. So I go up and I order my stuff, and there's no seats. Well, crap. What am I gonna do? So I find some shade outside, and I eat my stuff outside, and it's just so hot out there. And what I was wearing a button-up shirt and khakis, so it's like, it's so hot for me. So whatever, I find like 10 of the printers that were on my list on Thursday, and like 30 that weren't on my list. Okay, whatever, I'll come back on Friday and I'll finish it up. Now Friday, which was yesterday, actually started we have an intern now at the office who happens to be one of my brother's friends. So I go and they asked me if I could drive him every day. He lives less than a mile from here, so I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'll get him. So, I get him, and I've been leaving every day at the house to get onto the office. It's like a 15-minute drive here without traffic, but it's been taking me 45 minutes to an hour because, I'm going into Houston, which is like, For those of you who don't live in like one of the, absolutely major cities, so Cincinnati, Phoenix, San Fran, Baltimore, whatever, you just might not understand the pain of actual rush hour traffic. If you live in like the middle of nowhere or a smaller town, then oh yeah, 5 cars back to back at a stoplight, that's rush hour, no. So it's like, of course, I happened to get to the office, 30 minutes early because there was like no traffic that day. So, whatever. So we're just sitting there talking, go inside, I show him around, introduce him to a couple people. And I head off to the location that I was at on Thursday. At this one downtown. So I start going around and I'm looking for all my printers. And these have a very, very, very vague location. And I still have to find like 80 printers, Long story short, I found about 10 more printers that day, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to have to keep on going there to find all these printers, because I've looked everywhere, up, down, left, right, in every single room that I can, and I still can't find a lot of these, because the location is so vague. So, and I saw something that, on Friday, which really got me. I was in the ER, just looking around there, and there was this. I was walking towards the front lobby. I was in the back rooms where they're, performing stuff on people, and they bring in this little girl on one of those stretchers, I guess. I don't know. And she's sitting there with blood on her face, just crying, and that, that really got me. That's like, oh my God. Like, seeing it in movies is one thing, or hearing it from me, that, that's something else, but actually seeing it, like, it's right there, that's something else, man. I mean, I don't even know what to say, because it's just like, holy, what, this is so surreal right now. I mean, I just kind of like, it I don't know if it like scarred me or, it didn't scar me, but it, it's been like, implanted in my brain for since then, which it's only been like a day, but still, it's like, that's a hard image to get out of your head. Sorry if I scarred anyone with that image, but that's just, that's tough, man. And I don't know how these doctors and nurses, EMT, I don't know how they do that, because I can't do that. So, oh my gosh. But yeah, so like, so I have to go back and I have to go find the rest of these, which, that'll be fun. And, I have to go like all around town. So I'm going way up north, way down south, way east, way west. There's one place. It's a 2-hour drive from here. You know how many printers I have to find there? I have to find 3 printers in a 2-hour drive. So literally, and they give me detailed locations of where they are. So I'm driving 2 hours. I will find these printers within like 3 minutes of being there, and I will have to drive 2 hours back. I mean, really? I mean, you can't just, there's got to be an easier way to do this. Oh gosh, oops. But, and I got to do that. There's some that are like an hour away that I got to find like, 5 of them or, whatever. But, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, that's my new job. And I really am enjoying it. And I just got a text message or someone. We'll see. Yeah, but I really am enjoying this job, and it's after I'm done with these, meter readings, I'm doing like, I'm gonna be what's called the dispatcher, which is basically I'm just gonna, whenever someone has a problem, I'll just dispatch, or I'll say, yeah, we'll get a technician out there by, Friday or whatever, and then I'll just report there, whatever. So I am enjoying this job, and hopefully it'll be, it's a really good job for me to have, a full-time job. I'm almost 19, and, there are people who are a lot older than me looking for a full-time job, who would kill to have this job that I have. So it's a really good opportunity, and I'm genuinely excited about it, but yeah. So that is pretty much it. If there is a decrease in videos, just do understand that I'm working 40 hours a week now, but I am going to try and, stick with the normal schedule. But I do have, about 1,000 different things that I do at once, as I'm sure you guys already know that. So just keep that in mind, please. And I hope you understand that. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I've got a couple other things I need to do right around now. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for listening to my story. Make sure you subscribe right down here. It's a magical red button that says you're not subscribed to Safety Liner C2. Make sure you comment up here, down here, over here, or over here. I don't know where they put it down and where they put it. Make sure you also give this video a thumbs up, or I'm not going to find the printer that you own. And make sure you also share this video with a friend. Show it to your mom, show it to your dad, show it to a guy on a random street. I don't care, don't get raped. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much it. Thanks for watching.